Hello everyone, it's Much Grace. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our podcast episode 8. And we're going to be talking about DeBarge's 8 songs that prove that he is an R&B legend. Okay, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and give me a thumbs up. So you guys, recently there was an article, Billboard did the 75 best R&B artists of all time. And I don't believe DeBarge was on that list. So for all of you DeBarge fans out there, check out that list. I don't believe he was on it. And tell me what you think, who should have been on it. Of course, you feel DeBarge should be on it. Who shouldn't be on it. So if you haven't seen that article, or if you have, comment below. Tell me what you think about that. 75 best R&B artists of all time that they voted on. Like I said, I did not see DeBarge on the list. I do feel like he and the DeBarge family should have been on the list. And there were some names that maybe should not have been on that list, but I don't know if it was more of a popularity type of contest or list. There were a lot of artists to me that were deserving to be on the list, but some I would have left off. I would have left off the list. But anyway, you guys check out the list. Let me know what you think. Now, someone recently wrote an article about, DeBarge 8 songs that they feel prove that he is an R&B legend. So that's what this podcast is going to be about. We're going to listen to a breakdown of that article being discussed. So you guys comment below. Do you agree with the 8 songs? Let me know what your 8 songs maybe favorite that prove that he is an R&B legend. So let's take a listen.
Welcome everyone to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into the artistry of, an R&B icon, a voice that really gave love a sound, DeBarge.
Absolutely.
When we think about what makes a voice truly legendary in R&B, is it just the hits? Or is it something, deeper?
Yeah, something that sticks with you.
Exactly, something that speaks to the soul decade after decade. So our mission today is to really unpack why DeBarge's voice, his artistry, still feels so resonant. We're going to explore 8 pivotal songs from his career, and we're drawing on this really thoughtful article, 8 DeBarge songs that prove he's an R&B legend.
It's a great piece.
Yeah.
And it really nails, I think, what makes him special. That pure, almost effortless falsetto.
Effortless is the word.
Right. And his ability to make you feel every single lyric. He wasn't just singing about love.
No.
His songs actually sounded like love. That longing, the vulnerability, the joy, even redemption later on.
All wrapped up in those smooth melodies and pretty sophisticated arrangements, too.
Totally. It was a masterclass in emotional storytelling, just through his voice.
And it's funny, whether you grew up hearing him on the radio or maybe you found him through samples in, Biggie tracks or newer stuff.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
His influence is just undeniable. It's that blend, right? Timeless soul, but with that unique DeBarge charm.
That's it. A voice that's truly a gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, so let's unpack this. First up, we've got to talk about his solo debut single, Who's Johnny?
Ah, yeah. Short Circuit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From the movie soundtrack, it's kind of playful, quirky.
Definitely.
The lyrics aren't exactly deep, maybe. But L's voice, it just lifts the whole thing.
Yeah.
What hits you first when you hear him on this?
Well, it's how his vocal charisma just makes it more than a soundtrack song,
Right.
You get that mid-'80s sound, the bright synths, the snappy snare, that upbeat groove.
Totally 80s.
But his voice isn't ground out. It kind of dances with the track. He injects real feeling into what could have been just, a fun little pop tune.
Like those little vocal runs he does.
Exactly. Like that little slide on Johnny, or that unexpected dip that adds a bit of, melancholy almost.
Yeah.
It shows off his dexterity, even on lighter stuff.
And his phrasing is so precise, but it also sounds completely fluid. Like every time he sings the chorus, it feels slightly different emotionally.
Yeah.
And that hook is just so catchy. Plus, those falsetto bits keep it feeling bright. How does he make it sound so easy?
That's the magic, isn't it? It's incredible vocal control. I mean, today, maybe Who's Johnny sounds a bit like a novelty at first listen.
Maybe a little bit.
But when you really tune in, it's this brilliant pop R&B fusion. It shows the fun side of his artistry.
True.
His delivery makes every line feel like a little conversation. He shifts from flirty to earnest so smoothly.
Yeah.
And that warmth in his voice, that flexibility,
Yeah.
That's why it lasted way beyond the movie.
So it really shows how a great vocalist can elevate any material.
Absolutely. Even quirky stuff becomes a showcase.
Okay, so moving from that fun, quirky vibe, let's switch gears to something more intimate. Love Always.
Yes.
The article calls it an underrated ballad, and I kind of agree. It's got this gentle, mid-tempo groove.
Swaying rhythm.
Yeah, soft keyboards. It feels like sincere love, not like big theatrical drama.
And what's amazing there is how his falsetto just weaves through it like velvet, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It creates this really intimate, timeless feel. The lyrics are pretty simple, really heartfelt, all of it unconditional love.
Right.
But Elle doesn't need to, like, built it out or oversell it.
Yeah.
His tone carries the honesty.
It's subtle.
Yeah, these little conversational nuances in his voice. It feels like a lost art sometimes compared to, some of today's production. He's confiding in you, not singing at you.
And that bridge, where he drops down into his lower register.
Oh, yeah.
It really shows his range and control, and then he floats right back up to the falsetto. Adds so many layers.
Emotional layers.
It feels like a story unfolding in just that small section.
And that's exactly why Love Always holds up so well. It definitely has that retro sound.
Sure.
But it never feels dated. You could play it at a wedding now or just a quiet night in, and it still connects emotionally.
Totally.
For anyone who loves that smooth, romantic R&B, it's a must-listen, a real gem. Shows his melodic sense, lyrical clarity, all through his voice.
Okay, next up, Time Will Reveal, with DeBarge this time.
Oh, this one, yeah.
The article calls it one of the most beautiful slow jams in the DeBarge catalog. And I mean...
Yeah, hard to argue with that.
It opens with those really soft kind of ambient keys, and then Elle's falsetto just comes in like a sunrise. You instantly know it's not just another ballad. It feels almost spiritual. How does he do that? How does he get that reverence in there?
It really does feel spiritual. His vocal control is just, wow. And the tenderness he brings.
Yeah.
It elevates it to like near sacred territory for R&B fans. It's songs about patience, trust, and love.
Right.
And he delivers that with this vulnerability that's just so raw and real. You can't fake that.
No.
And the arrangement helps. It's sparse, right? The sustained pads, the gentle piano. It leaves all this space. So you hear every little nuance in his breathing, the slight changes in his tone. It amplifies the emotion. Every line feels heavy with feeling, but never rushed.
And that line, Time Will Reveal, repeated, it becomes almost like a mantra.
Exactly. Anchors you in that feeling of hopeful waiting.
The structure seems simple, but emotionally it's incredibly complex, like a quiet meditation.
Listening to it now, it really is like entering a meditative state. It's perfect for when you're questioning things, love, fate, whatever. The themes are timeless. And his delivery is just so soothing, almost healing. Few singers have that.
It's a masterpiece as a ballad.
And his art, it holds up completely. No wonder it's one of his most celebrated tracks with the group, often seen as a definitive performance.
Okay, now let's get into Elle's songwriting genius. All This Love.
Ah, yes.
The article says Elle DeBarge wrote this one, and it shows. And you can feel it, right?
You really can.
Those jazzy chords, the dreamy groove.
Yeah.
It's so romantic, but never feels cluttered or overdone, like a cool breeze.
Perfect description. The genius is in that sophisticated arrangement. You hear those lush chords, major sevenths, ninths.
Yeah, very jazzy.
Right? Especially piano and strings. Gives it this complex, almost lounge feel. It wasn't just typical R&B.
Separated them from the pack.
Absolutely. The melody floats, the instruments dance, and Elle's voice just anchors everything.
Yeah.
It showed he wasn't just a singer, but a composer, too.
And how it builds, it starts so soft, so tender, almost hesitant. But then the chorus just blooms. It gets sweeping, passionate. His control is insane, navigating those swells and pauses like an instrument.
Flawless control.
And that iconic line, all this love is waiting for you, the way he delivers it.
So tender.
Yeah, like a whispered promise. It really gets you.
It absolutely does. And all this love, I mean, it feels like a standard now, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It's been sampled, covered by huge names. Eric Roberson, Faith Evans. But nobody does it quite like Elle. His falsetto here is so warm, expressive, inviting. He sings with you, not just to you. Pulls you right in.
It's timeless. Vulnerability, longing, devotion. It's all there.
It's all captivating.
Okay, if we're talking about the track that really put DeBarge on the map, it has to be I Like It.
Oh, yeah. The breakthrough.
It just feels like having a crush set to music. It's sweet, smooth, showcases the group harmonies perfectly. And Elle just nails that feeling of infatuation without sounding, childish.
No, he doesn't. And it captures everything people loved about 80s R&B. That groove.
Instantly recognizable.
Mid-tempo rhythm, the finger snaps, warm synths.
Yeah.
Pure 80s gold.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is how well it still plays today, in the 2020s.
It does. It doesn't sound cheesy.
Right. It has this lovely analog charm. It's restrained, no crazy overproduction.
True.
And I think that sincerity in the melody and the mood is why it lasts. It wasn't about complexity.
And his falsetto on the chorus, iconic. His phrasing is light but so deliberate, and the background harmonies just lift it up. When he sings those lines, I like the way you comb your hair, and I like those stylish clothes you wear. It's like, how does he make such simple observations sound so romantic?
It's the delivery.
Yeah.
So sincere, almost breathy. You just believe him. He sells it emotionally.
Yeah, you do.
In today's world of like swiping left in DMs,
Yeah. Or
it feels so refreshingly pure. Just honest admiration and a great melody.
good reminder.
Definitely. And if you like artists now like Bruno Mars or Anderson .Paak who draw on that retro vibe,
Yeah.
you got to listen to this.
Yeah.
This is part of the blueprint. It's not just a hit. It's a whole mood. Expressing desire without being over the type. We need more of that.
We really do. Okay, so fast forward a bit. After years away, Elle comes back with Second Chance.
Powerful stuff.
Deeply personal. A song about redemption, hope. His voice is still angelic, but you hear, I don't know, a layer of gravel. Where? It tells a story.
It really does.
This wasn't just a comeback single. It felt like reading his journal. What makes it so powerful, do you think?
It's that raw authenticity.
Yeah.
It's not just a comeback song. It's really a confession.
Yeah.
The lyrics touch on prison, addiction, but there's no bitterness. It's acceptance, humility. And that chorus, I just want to be with you. And it feels bigger than just romance. It's about connection, healing, self-worth.
Right.
And the production is stripped back piano, strings mostly. It puts his voice and that earned emotion right up front.
Every note feels earned.
Exactly.
That vulnerability, it actually fits so well even now. And yeah, his voice might show some age, but it just adds gravity.
Totally.
He still hits the high notes, but those lower, hushed parts, they just break your heart a little.
Yeah.
The rasp, the imperfections, they deepen the impact. It shows what lived experience brings.
And for anyone listening who's going through struggle, Second Chance is such a potent reminder. It's never too late. It was a comeback based on truth, way more powerful than chart numbers. It marked a new chapter for her gratitude, purpose, renewed artistry. It showed he still had something vital to say.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about Stay With Me also with DeBarge.
Ah, the sample favorite.
Right. Maybe not a massive chart hit on its own, but true music lovers know this one. Biggie's One More Chance, Ashanti.
Yep.
But the original. Wow, Elle's voice is so fragile, yearning. The article calls it an emotional masterpiece. How does he get so raw with such restraint?
That's the magic of it, isn't it? Stay With Me is this slow burn, tender, haunting, maybe one of the most emotionally raw things they ever did.
It feels that way.
It's built on that simple, kind of haunting keyboard loop.
Yeah.
And Elle's voice, sometimes it's barely a whisper. It feels like a prayer.
Yeah.
His control over his breath, that delicate, almost wavering quality, it pulls you right into his vulnerability. No drama, just pure sincerity, quiet desperation.
And the minimalism is key. No big production, just honesty. It makes you stop and listen.
Yeah, it really does. It's almost unsettling how honest it feels. You feel the sadness, but there's a beauty in it, too. It invites empathy. Feels like that late night talk after a fight, you know?
Yeah.
Remorse and hope mixed together.
Totally.
And you can see why hip-hop and R&B artists gravitated towards it for samples, that melodic loop, that emotional core.
Perfect for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LJ basically created a blueprint for vulnerability that people are still borrowing from. Few match that raw impact, though.
Okay, closing out our list, Real Love. A solo track from later on maybe flies under the radar a bit.
Yeah, perhaps a bit underrated.
It sounds polished, radio ready, but it still has that Elle DeBarge emotional center. It feels like it's about seeking something true, not just attraction.
Lasting connection.
Yeah.
And for an artist known for vulnerability, this one has a sense of resolve, like setting a higher standard for love.
Right.
The groove is interesting, too. A bit more up-tempo, but still smooth.
Yeah.
That pulsing bass line. Quiet confidence.
Yeah, I hear that.
And Elle's vocals just glide over it. Falsetto's still there, but maybe with a bit more texture, edge. He's singing about what he really wants. It feels like a shift from youthful yearning to, like, mature clarity. He's waiting for the right kind of love now.
Grounded. defined.
Exact.
And the chorus is catchy, but not flashy. Nice harmonies supporting him, too. It feels both of its time and timeless.
Complete.
Yeah, complete is a good word.
It might not be his most famous song, commercially speaking, but Real Love feels really complete. Lyrically mature, sophisticated arrangement, confident vocal. It's a great reminder that even when he wasn't topping the charts, El remained this incredible artistic force.
True.
And that search for real love, I mean, that's universal, still relevant right now in 2025.
Yeah.
Sometimes the quiet statements make the biggest noise, you know?
Yeah. Real Love is definitely that kind of song. So wrapping this up, we've heard this amazing combination in El DeBarge, that effortless falsetto, that deep emotional connection, the songwriting skill.
All of it.
It's clear why he's considered an R&B legend, both with the group and solo, conveying complex feelings with such sincerity. It's really remarkable, like a